It's been nearly 2 years since Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed Robert Mueller as special counsel. When he made the announcement on May 17, 2017, Mueller was just in charge of an investigation into Russia's involvement in the 2016 elections.
Because believe me, there's no collusion.
But less than 1 month later, June 14th, that probe expanded into an investigation of the President of the United States for possible obstruction of justice. The decision follows former FBI Director Jim Comey's testimony before the Senate Intel Committee. He said the president asked him to end his investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. It also followed this now infamous interview.
This Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story. It's an excuse by the Democrats for having lost an election.
What follows is nearly 5 months of silence from the special counsel's office until October 30th, 2017, when former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort and associate Rick Gates are charged with a dozen counts of money laundering and conspiracy. Former campaign advisor George Papadopoulos also pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI that day. 1 month later, Michael Flynn also pleads guilty to lying to the FBI, closing out a busy year for Mueller's investigation. The action picks up again on February 16, 2018, when Robert Mueller indicts 13 Russians and 3 entities for interfering in the presidential election. They'll never see the inside of a courtroom, but this symbolic move acknowledged Russia's actions. Less than a week later, on February 22nd, 32 new charges are filed against Manafort and Gates. They're indicted on tax fraud, money laundering, and more financial charges. Gates pleads guilty the very next day. He also agrees to cooperate. On April 9th, FBI agents raid the president's former lawyer Michael Cohen's home, hotel, and office. More charges are brought against Manafort and longtime aide Konstantin Kilimnik in June. About halfway through the summer, Robert Mueller continues his indictments against Russians, this time charging a dozen in relation to the 2016 DNC hack. Over the next few months, a lot is happening inside the courtroom. Manafort is found guilty on August 24th on a handful of fraud counts. That same day, Cohen pleads guilty to tax fraud and campaign finance violations. On September 7th, Papadopoulos is sentenced to 2 weeks in prison. The next week, Manafort enters into a cooperation agreement with the special counsel and pleads guilty to additional charges. And just 1 day after the midterm elections, Attorney General Jeff Sessions resigns. The president, who wanted Sessions gone after he recused himself from the Russia probe, submitted written answers to the special counsel 2 weeks later. But he never sat down for an interview. On November 29th, Cohen pleads guilty to lying to Congress and is sentenced to 3 years in prison on December 12th. Less than 1 month into 2019, Trump's longtime confidant Roger Stone is arrested at his home and indicted on 7 counts, including lying and witness tampering. All is quiet until March, when Manafort is sentenced to less than 8 years in prison for his crimes. Prosecutors had been seeking nearly 19 to 24 years. A week before Mueller delivers his report to the Department of Justice, Congress votes 420-0 to make the final report public. Then on March 24th, Attorney General Bill Barr puts out a 4-page summary indicating Mueller found no coordination with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, but did not come to a conclusion on obstruction of justice. Barr has said the full report will be released, but with redactions.